Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. I hope everyone's having a wonderful Thursday night. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I know we've been really sparse lately. It sucks. Not happy about it. But I started a new job. We ended the presidential campaign. Obviously, I was gone for a couple of weeks for that. Last week I was getting kind of in tune with the new job. Plus, we started a new campaign because Joshua Smith, me, I can't go without being in a campaign. What am I going to do? I've been on a national campaign since 2017. Literally, almost without fail, without stop. I can't just stop campaigning now. So we're going to turn that anger, that fire we had during the presidential campaign at one of the local tyrants in Iowa. Mm-hmm. And she was running unopposed. No, ma'am, I say no. You will not run unopposed. You will run against somebody who's going to make you look really bad, at the very least. Mm-hmm. So we got a great show for you guys tonight. I'm very excited. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for coming in here. If you're on the front page of Rumble watching us right now, go ahead and hit that follow button so you guys can catch updates when we do go live. We will not be doing a show next week. Our oldest daughter will be at a national dance competition all week. We'll be out of town. We'll be in a different state for the whole week. But after that week, we'll come back and start doing consistent, at least once a week shows for you guys. Again, hopefully two times a week. I'm hoping Tuesday, Thursdays, but we may change the nights, but we're definitely going to do at least one show a week going forward. Before we get too far into this, guys, go check out my friend, my partner in crime, toplobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get all kinds of great hats, backpacks, hoodies, t-shirts, leggings. I don't know. He's got all kinds of cool shit. The awesome pillow that you guys see next to Ryan over there, the Break the Cycle custom Couchstream pillow. You can get that at toplobster.com by using BTC at checkout for a 10% discount. Or join our Patreon, subscribe, become a member of the YouTube channel under all of our videos by hitting the join link. You can get into a private Discord server and talk to Ryan at the very least. And you might get some of Top's new gear if he ever comes in there and posts about it. Up to 30% off before it goes to the general public, 2 weeks before it goes to the general public. Ryan, how are we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to be podcasting again. Yeah, it's fun to be involved in some campaigns. I'm your campaign manager.
I did. I asked Ryan. I asked Ryan to be my campaign manager, and his first thing that he said was, I don't know, man. I've never been a campaign manager. I said, it's perfect. It's fucking perfect because what did I tell you, Ryan? I don't listen to my campaign managers anyway. So you get to cut your teeth and learn how to manage a campaign with a guy who's not going to listen to you at all. And if you guys know, during the presidential campaign, I had a wonderful, amazing campaign manager too, who I also did not listen to, not once. And that's
maybe you should have.
and Sean's amazing. I feel bad. Sean Kennedy, if you're out there, I apologize. I don't listen to my campaign managers. I probably listen to the financial guy a little more than I did the campaign manager, Mr. Rich Bowen, who I love to death. But I just can't do it, dude. Because look, my political aspirations are not to be a politician, right? Like I know that people are like, you need to go out there and you need to be nice. You need to be nice.
I'm not going to tell you that.
I know you won't.
Yeah, you do you.
But you also know me better than to tell me you need to go out there and be nice. Like, you know that. But, like, a lot of people, that's how they feel about politics. Like, you have to go out there and play this politics, like, political game. And, like, I'm just not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go out there and be, like, Mr. Polished and give everybody the rhetoric. I'm going to go out there and say what needs to be said. Because if you're not doing that, you're a pussy. You're an absolute pussy.
Authenticity works surprisingly well, but very few people are actually authentic. They're either authentically a scumbag or like authentic. Some people try and play it like very straight-laced.
Sure. Well, I'll say this. I made a post.
It just doesn't work.
I made a post earlier on Twitter, and I stand by this. Okay, Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform Party in Britain, who, love him or hate him, is absolutely unifying like real Englanders right now, dude. Like big time. To kind of take back the glory days of England, right? Like, I mean, for real. And I met him at a YAL event in San Jose in probably fucking 2019 or 2018. And I went outside and hung out with him, just me and him, one-on-one for like 5 minutes. and had a cigarette. He smoked cigarettes. I smoke cigarettes. He probably calls them fags. I call them cigarettes, whatever. He's English. And we had a cigarette, and he was the most down to earth, like real, like salt of the earth human I'd ever met in like a public position like his. And I mean, he's huge. I mean, he's 2 million followers, like, you know what I mean? Big name, probably one of the biggest names in all of Britain. And he was the nicest, most down-to-earth guy. And I remember going, man, I can understand why people want to follow this guy. And that's how I look at it. Like, I don't want to follow some, like, polished, like, piece of shit that's just telling me what I want to hear. I want to follow people that are real, that are down-to-earth, that understand the plight of everyday Americans. Like, that's, and you know, British too, I guess. I don't like to speak well of the British, but
yeah, it's difficult too.
It is a difficult thing to do, but you know, Nigel's a good dude. He could be an honorary American if he wanted to. I doubt he'd be sending the redcoats. You know what I mean? But anyways, how you doing tonight, Ryan? What have you been up to, buddy?
I mean, my brother and sister-in-law had their second child recently. So
nice. So you're an uncle times two?
Yes, I am an uncle times two.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
Now we just got to make you a dad times two. That's the important part.
It'll happen. Don't worry about that.
You think it'll happen?
Yes. Like, we're planning on having 6 children. What do you mean?
I don't believe you, but we'll see if it happens. Hey, Infinite Zeal, another super chat. Man, we love you, buddy. Thanks
when have I said something like that and not followed through?
Well, you said you weren't going to have a baby until you guys were done with like paying off college loans and stuff. But
yeah, we were planning on it.
We bullied you so hard that you had one much earlier. So I appreciate that. Guys, if you didn't notice, we did name the episode tonight, Trump Isn't Going to Jail. We'll get into some of that stuff. But before we go too much further, we got a great guest for you guys tonight. I'm excited. This man and I have not always agreed on every single thing in the entire world, but man, we agree on more than we probably don't. He is the guy behind the Copper State Austrians, Mr. Harrison Wells. Sir, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing all right, man. I can't complain. I'm sick. I am sick. We just, you know, for anybody that doesn't understand what it's like having 7 kids, it's like you live in a giant fucking petri dish where everybody just gets sick all the time. There's never a time that I can remember where we didn't have a sick kid in the house, at least like a light cough or something. You know what I mean? It's just constant. It's like living 24/7 in a daycare. That's what it's like.
Just how life goes.
Yeah. And so I occasionally get sick too, but more often than I should. And Ryan brought that up today. He said, you got the worst. You have a
terrible immune system.
But that's not what it is. It's I sleep like 2 hours a night.
Yeah. That contributes to it.
I eat like shit. I work my ass off. I try to be there for my family as much as possible. And I've been traveling around the country almost nonstop since 2017. So like my immune system isn't just shit. It's just that I haven't done the things that would help me build my immune system back. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like it's funny because now I'm in a time where I'm actually like starting to work out a little bit again and like trying to eat a little better and be more health conscious. And so like, and then I get sick, of course, when I'm doing that stuff. But I also had like a week ago or whatever, I had like a really bad ear and sinus infection. And I think that's playing a part into what everything is going on. So, but anyways, Harrison, how you doing, man? What have you been up to?
Hey, I've been doing great, man. Lately, you know, just got married pretty recently. That was pretty freaking awesome.
Is that your wife in the chat there?
That is my wife in the chat.
That's nice.
Bug Bledsoe giving me the handsome shout out. But no, I've been doing great lately. Not a lot going on in terms of Liberty Movement stuff. I'm kind of between shenanigans right now, but yeah, still been running the Twitter accounts, living the life, going to work, you know. It's been a good time.
Yeah, and so like the Copper State Austrian page on Twitter that you run used to be the Arizona Mises Caucus page. And there was some kind of guff going on there. Can you fill us in a little bit there? What happened?
All right. So, basically, it sometime last summer, I took over the Arizona Mises Caucus account right after the Blake Masters incident because the previous admin decided to leave after that. I took over that account. I was a loyal servant to the Mises Caucus, just posting based takes all day, growing that account.
Trust me, I know something about being a loyal servant to the Mises Caucus. But go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then last year, around this time, maybe a little later, I think it was like August. Dylan Griffith, who I'll be honest, is a cool dude, right? You
are not at all allowed to badmouth Dylan Griffith on this show, by the way, just so you know.
Dylan Griffith is a cool dude. I don't have any beef with him, but he got kind of caught out on Twitter where he publicly admitted that he does not believe in the non-aggression principle.
Right.
And so I made a public stink about it on the official account. I knew I was pushing it. But I didn't want that to be something that the Mises Caucus was known for. I feel like the Libertarian Party should be the non-aggression principle party. This made me less than popular. And so after that, every single thing I did was scrutinized. And eventually I simply got the New Hampshire treatment for being too based. I mean, like I was called too controversial, too radical. I was told I was damaging the brand. Pretty soon, certain people started policing what I was saying on my personal account.
Oh, you gotta love that shit.
I got into an argument with Michael Rechtenwald on Twitter, and apparently this was somehow cause for me to have the Mises account taken away. My state organizers stood behind me the entire time, until eventually, people were simply fed up. There was a big argument in the Discord. Apparently Heist personally kicked me from the national Discord channel.
And you wouldn't be the first person on this podcast that Heist has personally kicked from the national Discord channel, by the way.
So eventually it was simply decided that this was a disagreement that was not going to be reconciled. National didn't want me anymore, and Arizona was simply refusing to fire me. So the solution that was proposed was simply that the branding change, and we disaffiliate that account. We no longer use the National Mises Caucus branding. I was totally fine with that because it's become my brand now. I can say absolutely whatever I like, and it's been good. We've garnered a lot of support over the past few months.
I do want to say that the Arizona libertarians, especially those ones who came in through Mises, are some of the longest standing people that have been affiliated with the Libertarian Party that came in through the Mises movement. They've been around forever. I mean, Mac and Jason Gilliam and these guys have been around since 2017 I was talking to Jason in 2016, Mac in 2016. I mean, this was like when Austin Peterson was running for president in the Libertarian Party. These guys were around. So it's funny to me that those guys who have been around since the beginning, like me, because I've been around since the beginning, day one, kind of have the same views on some of this shit that I have, and I appreciate that. It was always funny to me when I'd see people with like a ton of Mises like postings on their Twitter and stuff, like who the fuck are you talking shit to me about like stuff? And I'm like, dude, if you don't know your own fucking history of your movement, like shut the fuck up. Don't, you know what I mean? I said this on the last show, the recap with Toad, like go fuck yourself. If you literally don't remember who was there when there was no Dave Smith and no Tom Woods and none of these, Maj or anybody, when none of these people were there, if you don't remember the guy who was like ready to take up the mantle and travel around the country to put the fucking Mises Caucus on the map nationally, then go fuck yourself. Like I don't care what you think. Like I have no your opinion means almost nothing to me. Almost nothing at all. If you've gotten so involved over the last 1 year or 2 years that you don't know the history of your own movement, get fucked. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
If I didn't know you personally, I wouldn't know that. You do not get mentioned by anyone else in the Mises Caucus.
Ever. It's like I don't fucking exist.
Yeah.
It's so funny to me, bro.
Well, Rechtenwald mentions you plenty.
Yeah, he's now
that
writing.
he just flat out.
He'll send everyone 5 or 6 emails about Joshua Smith.
Dude, he's got a full Dear Diary now, like a live journal about me, bro. It's fucking hilarious.
Except when it comes to based takes, then you don't exist. He's like, I'm the only candidate who said this. And it's like,
that's true.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
there was another.
He just did that again. Like this. Listen, the campaign's over. You lost, I lost, we both lost, whatever. Who gives a shit? Go back to your normal life, whatever it is. Go back to being a writer. He's a good writer. He's a good writer. He's writing about some really dumb shit right now, like crawling in my skin.
Yeah,
right? These wounds,
right? Like intellectual stuff, not emo poetry.
Yes. Yeah, right. Just stop writing fucking like 2005 emo kid lyrics on your Facebook or your MySpace page, and go back to writing about good stuff that you're known for. That was very important work. Don't get me wrong, but we both lost. It is what it is. Now you're gonna spend all your time focusing on me. Like, why? Who gives a shit? Like, I didn't do anything. All I did, look, and this is the funny thing. So a bunch of people got mad at me for sharing the clips of his clear blunder on the most important day of the Libertarian Party's life. Okay. As somebody who's been involved in the party for a decade now, right? Who's actually like been around and traveled and put all this like stuff into this movement to try and bolster it, to see someone get the stage finally that we've been pushing for and then do that. I have every fucking right to call you an idiot, maybe call you retarded. I mean, there's all kinds of things I should be calling you for doing these things, because this is the movement that I cared about, that I bled for, that I sacrificed for. And you got the stage. For what reason? I don't know. I don't know who decided that one of the presidential candidates got to go up and speak before Trump.
Yeah, that was interesting how he was just treated like the presumptive nominee.
Right.
And then completely blew it and proved exactly why he shouldn't be.
You ever
it was ridiculous.
You ever watch Facebook reels and they show the MMA ones that are like instant karma?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Where like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I know the kind of thing you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it's like they're at the press conference and the face off, and the guy's like sticking his hand in the other guy's face. He's like, "I'm gonna fucking kill you" or whatever, and then he goes out there and just gets absolutely slaughtered. Like, dude, that's what happens, bro. Like sometimes you gotta not count your chickens before it hatches. I mean, Gary Johnson beat Austin Peterson at the 2016 national convention. And Austin Peterson was clearly the better candidate. And I don't care if you disagree with Austin I disagree with Austin on foreign policy now. I didn't back then. He wasn't like this back then. But I disagree very bigly with Austin Peterson on foreign policy in general. But it was clear that he was the better candidate. I mean, he would have absolutely done better in the general than Gary Johnson did. But Gary Johnson got picked. That's how it happens when you have a delegate system that picks a national candidate. It's less than 1,100 people that picked the case. If we had an open primary, without a doubt, Austin Peterson probably would have won the nomination. But it's just not how it works. And so trying to blame it on the guy who only got 73 votes in the first round is fucking stupid. Like, just dumb. It's stupid.
It was entirely his own fault. It was the gummy shit.
Yes.
Like I talked to people that refused to vote for him, people that were pretty neutral, and they were delegates that refused to vote for him because of the gummy thing.
It was the biggest night of the Libertarian Party's history, and he fumbled the bag.
Also, he calls it Gummygate now. AJ started that.
I know AJ started it.
AJ started the whole thing.
Our show did. So maybe we did. But he got mad because I fucking made clips of it. It was on the media, dude. I just made clips. They're like, well, you made it a meme. I'm like, well, yeah, that's what I do. First of all, I make things memes. That's what I do. I turn entire people into memes all the fucking time, okay? But it was already in the media, dude. You were there. I was at the bar. I wasn't even there when it happened. I just saw it on the media because it was already coming out on other accounts. So I just clipped it and put it out on mine and said, is this really what we're doing? Is this really what we're going to do? This is what you guys want to see. You know what I mean? And that's just that's how it works.
It was going to spread no matter what.
Yeah. So thanks, Harrison. It's your fault that we lost because you didn't show up to the national convention. We appreciate you, dude. Your one vote would have changed the entire outcome.
Yeah, I would have changed the course of that whole thing. I'd have whipped half the delegates into shape for you guys.
Your vice chair from Arizona's in here saying you're the most based in the state. So
real.
Yeah, Corey. He's the vice chair, right?
Yeah, he's the vice chair.
Yeah, Corey's
cool dude.
Man. I just
love Corey.
I think we just started following each other on Facebook. He's great though, man. My Facebook, just for you guys that don't know, I was going to talk about this earlier. If you're listening to this later on the podcast feed, I just finally got to upload the last 3 episodes of the podcast feed because we use Anchor, Spotify for podcasters to upload our shit to the RSS feed. And for the last couple of weeks, they've changed their policy, and now you have to log in with your personal Spotify. And I have been locked out of my personal Spotify for like 5 years minimum. And I've just been paying the Spotify premium, the like $3.99 or whatever a month for 5 years because I can't even get in and turn it off. Because it was attached to my old Facebook account.
Oh,
I never,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I never used my email to log into Spotify. I just used my Facebook account. So when Facebook kicked me off in 2020, I just had no way to get back into my Spotify. And so I haven't been able to use the Spotify for podcasters since they made you log in with the original Spotify. So I had to start a whole new Spotify account. So now I have two Spotify accounts, one that I actually use that I can't log into, and one that I don't use for anything except for to log into Spotify for podcasters, that has none of my music preferences on there whatsoever, but I don't pay for. So it's just been a really thing. So I apologize.
speaking of getting kicked out of things or gatekeeping things, go into detail about your banking situation for the
Oh,
campaign.
dude, this is so bizarre. I don't really.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't really. Here's the thing. I could be conspiracy theorying this, and so that's why I didn't really want to dig into it. But I will say this: I was told directly that our values do not align by U.S. Bank. Okay, directly.
Wow.
I you know, some of the losers jumped on my Twitter account and started trying to ask me about. I haven't banked with any of the big banks in a decade. Okay, none of them. I've done online only checking accounts that don't ask for fucking shit. I've done crypto, obviously heavily. And so I feel like if I was actually truly on a list of something going on here, they would have killed my PayPal account, which they haven't done, and some other things. But I will tell you, Wells Fargo and U.S. Bank both turned me down for a candidate campaign account, which, by the way, I don't use my social for. I have an EIN for. Okay, this is something totally unrelated to my credit or anything like that. I was told that I can't give specifics, but our values don't align by U.S. Bank. Wells Fargo just turned me down and said, we don't have enough information. Sorry. But,
That's unbelievable.
yes. Yeah,
there's got to be some single piece of information.
It's got to be 100%.
Went out to all the big banks that are like, do not let this candidate bank with you.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Insane.
Yeah, there's something going on, and so in Iowa, we'll talk more about the state senator campaign that I'm running for here in Iowa in District 16, right here in West Des Moines. But we so in the state of Iowa, the Public Ethics Committee for campaigns requires that you use a bank that is in Iowa, that does business in Iowa, which doesn't include, I don't think, online banks. You can't do that. Like my presidential campaign, I use SoFi. Like I don't fuck with these big banks. I don't like. I'd rather use a bank that, first of all, never charges me any kind of overdraft fees or anything like that. You know what I mean? They're not just out to like kill you with fees like these big banks. Right? Like, oh, I went 50 cents over my available fucking balance and they charged me $35. You know what I mean? Like I hated that anyway.
The one I recommended to you, they charge like 15, but like the first time it happens,
well,
they'll waive it.
You're talking about credit unions, and I haven't tried any credit unions yet, so we'll talk some credit unions. But I can say 100% that U.S. Bank told me directly that our values do not align. Okay, for that to happen in the U.S. is insane to me. First of all, but I've been telling people this for a long time that it was coming, and I've seen other people get debanked here. Of course, they're debanking. They're absolutely 100% debanking people in Canada, left and right. It's been happening in China for 30 years, and so like I knew it was coming. You just don't think that it's going to happen to you. You know what I mean? And of course, people don't have to believe me. I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care if you believe me or not. This is actually happening to me. Okay, and it is what it is. Like I'm going to stand by the things I say. I think everyone knows that. I think that, and I talked a little, I posted a little bit about it on my Twitter today. The local news media is absolutely going to come after me soon.
Yep.
We know that. We know that's going to happen. But they're not going to tell you all the good things about me. They're going to tell you the things that I said that hurt their fifis.
They're gonna target the repeal the
19th Amendment stuff. I know for sure. I know that that's coming by the local media because I'm running against a Democrat woman.
Oh yeah,
I know that's
no
coming.
Question.
They've
got to bring it up.
Yeah, but the funny thing is as soon as it's almost like when you run that hit piece on me, I'm going to be able to turn around and run the biggest fucking hit piece on you ever. And I have more followers than any of the local journalists here, than any of them. And it's not even close. And so my message to local journalists in the Des Moines, Iowa area and greater Des Moines suburb area is that you better have your shit clean, because I'm not above coming after you. With hit pieces, I will put them out. I'll send them to Timcast, dude. We'll get millions of hits on your hit piece. What are you gonna do? get like 4 people in West Des Moines to be mad at me for saying that the 19th Amendment and its consequences have been a detriment to society. It's true. It's absolutely true. I think, but the bigger problem is that I've talked about this in context that I believe that voting my rights away shouldn't be a thing that anybody should be allowed to do, not just women. You know what I mean? Obviously, women can be a little emotional sometimes, and they're more inclined to vote for social safety nets, right?
Yes.
That's a proven fact. Okay. But I don't think anybody should have the right to vote my rights away. And I've talked about that at length, right? So like if you're going to come at me with a hit piece about that, it's just going to give me a bigger opportunity to talk about, Lysander Spooner and how you're voting my rights away is bullshit to begin with. And, I don't know. It's just funny to me that's something that they'll focus on. I'm surprised that you talked about that here. I didn't think you would.
And stuff like that is why that local focus is, what people who believed in the Mises Caucus, that's what we thought we were all about, is because we can bring that national attention to those tiny issues and really tip the scales in our favor in a way that we can't do it in the big races.
Yeah. I will say this, dude. The Democrat that I'm running against, Claire Celsi, is first of all one of the worst Democrats in the entire Midwest, not just Iowa, in the entire Midwest. She's the only gun grabber in most of the state here. She is on the education committee and constantly lobbies to take away our rich tradition of educational freedom in the state of Iowa. We're one of the best educational freedom states in the country. She's constantly lobbying for policies that hurt farmers and small businesses all the time. And this is like, hello, you live in fucking Iowa of all places. Like the farms are what make Iowa a great place to live. If it wasn't for farms, we'd be a desolate shithole. You know what I mean? Like it's literally the reason why we have an economy at all in the state of Iowa is because of farms. And you want to diss the farmers? You want to take like food to table people and throw them in the brig? Like fuck out of here, dude. Like we can beat this woman. And the Republicans aren't running anybody. Yep. I'm the only other person that's challenged her. She breezed through the primary with 81% of the vote. You know how many votes that was though? Do you remember how many she got?
How many was it?
Like less than 3,000, dude. In the Dem primary. Okay. The city of West Des Moines that we live in has 70,000 people. Okay. And that's
there was just no eyes on that primary at all.
Nobody showed up, dude. The voting turnout was so bad that I'm like, dude, we only have to knock like 6 neighborhoods worth of doors and we're going to beat this lady. You know what I mean? And so I've talked to people from Yale already. I talked to Cliff Mahoney. I've talked to people, Cliff Mahoney. I've talked to people who said they will send people here to help us knock doors, dude. So we actually have like the support. Yeah. We actually have the support that we didn't have for the presidential campaign in this campaign. Like way more support, dude. Yeah. Nationally for this campaign, and we can beat this woman. And I think that we get the Republican support. Republicans absolutely. In Iowa too. So
because I have another candidate.
There's no Republican in the race, right?
No. And there was a time when I was going to run for state rep in the 44th district here when we lived in Urbandale. And I was going to run there, and they basically were like, we won't run anyone against you, because they know like the Republicans here in Iowa. There's a lot. First of all, there's a lot of Mises like libertarians that have been elected to the state house here, like Jeff Shipley and Senator Carlin and some really great people.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and they've been elected as Republicans, but they know me. I mean, I was at the state house when during the COVID stuff, like lobbying for these, the anti-mask mandate and the anti-vax mandate stuff, and they actually came out and did that. Those are the same guys that are pushing the bill to nullify all federal gun laws in the state of Iowa, right? Like, so they know that I'm on the same page as them. Yeah. So like getting their support won't be hard. My problem is, and this is what, when I talked about maybe primarying Zach Nunn in 2026 as a Republican. Okay. When I talked about doing that, the thing that holds me back from that is the fact that I know I'm going to have to kiss the Republican ring, right? Like when we're talking about Iowa, the Republicans are run by the Grassleys. I mean, that's really how this works. Okay. And like, I'm not going to kiss Senator Grassley's ass, dude. Like, I'm just not going to do it. I don't give a shit like what people feel about that. I know that he's loved here because he is a farmer, but he's like part of the corporate farmer structure. You know what I mean? He's not a part of like the small, great like pork and corn and soybean farms of Iowa that had made farming great in Iowa. He's part of the corporate farming structure that would take your land if he could. And so I'm not going to kiss that ring, you know what I mean? And so like we'll have to do a lot of heavy thinking on whether I'm going to actually primary Zach Nunn in 2020.
These are the people who have made other farming all but illegal in America.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, My hope is you win, and then you just kick ass at the state level,
Yeah.
and you don't have to run at the
Yeah, and
federal
I think this is a winnable race for us. I don't think people
Absolutely.
understand that. The haters are already like, "Oh, you're not going to do anything." I'm like, dude, this is an actual winnable race. Like this
Yeah.
is the first time first of all, this is the first time I'm running in an actually winnable race. Just in case you guys were wondering, I've been running a national campaign for 7 years and all over the country in races that I basically knew. I mean, in 28, I basically knew I wasn't going to win against Nicholas fucking Sarwark at the national convention. I thought maybe in 2020 we had a chance against Joe Bishop Henchman. Probably they pulled a little Trumpian theft at the ballot box tactics there in 2020, but we don't bring it up. I don't want to be the stop still guy. And then of course I ran the vice chair campaign, which I didn't know if we'd win or not, and we did. And then of course I resigned because I just wasn't happy with the way things were. But I'm running for president in 2024. I didn't think I was going to win the presidency.
Well,
Yeah.
obviously.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not stupid, but I do know that I can win this race, and I can win this race as a libertarian because in this district I don't have the R baggage next to my name.
You have an advantage as a
I
libertarian.
actually
in this
have an
district.
advantage, and let me tell you, there was a woman who ran in this district a couple years ago. For the same position before it was redistricted, before it became Claire Celsey's district. And that libertarian in a three-way race got almost 30% of the vote. I don't know if you guys know, Tanya.
Wow.
She
I've
got
never
almost
heard of that.
And she
That's
did
incredible.
not run some spectacular campaign of door knocking and shit, dude. It was not a great campaign by any means. If we put a little bit of money into this and a little bit of elbow grease and knock the doors and talk to the people and hold town halls, dude, we were going to beat Claire Celsey. I know that. And if you're in Iowa and if you're in the 16th Senate district in Iowa, show up to the ballot box, dude, because we can get rid of one of the worst tyrants in the entire Midwest very easily. Probably, I think our win number, when I looked at it in the general, was like 12,000 votes or something like that, dude. And that's big. That's overestimating our win number. So like we could do it. We could really do it and
That's
take
incredible.
a state Senate seat. Yeah, I don't see why not. And if we have the
You
support, we'll do
literally
it.
just need like decent Republican turnout. That's it.
Yes. That's it. That's all it would take.
And
The-
we can definitely get an endorsement from the
Yeah, the
Republicans.
Republicans and the Independents show up and we oust Claire Celsey. That's it. She's done. She's fired. And I hope she's fired because she doesn't belong in a state house in a state that stands for everything she fights against, dude. You know what I mean? Jay Forte, thanks for the $5 super chat. He said, Josh, I hope you kick ass and keep doing what you're doing and take over locally. But Heidi Klum eating hot wings just came on my radar. What? Should we find that? Should we see if we can find that?
I don't know who Heidi Klum is.
You don't know who Heidi Klum is, bro?
No.
What the Oh, yeah, you are a baby. Do you know who Heidi Klum is, Harrison?
I do not. I am also a baby.
Yeah, you're pretty
Yeah.
young, right?
I'm
Yeah,
a couple
I'm
years older
22.
than-
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm quite a bit older than him.
Yeah, Ryan's you're actually the old guy in the room when he's hanging
Yeah.
out with Harrison. I'm like your grandpa, Harrison. I have a daughter that is a year and a half younger than you.
That's actually wild.
Yeah,
I did not know
I have
that.
2 grandkids already, and a daughter that's a daughter that will. I guess you're 22. My daughter's going to be 20 in October, so I guess she's 2 years younger than you or whatever. But yeah, dude, it's crazy. Should we find Heidi Klum eating? Let's see if we can find Heidi
Who
Klum.
is Heidi Klum?
I can't believe you don't know who Heidi Klum is. She was one of the original Victoria's Secret models, dude.
I could not name a single.
How would you know that?
I
couldn't
could not
name a current
name
Victoria's
a single
Secret model.
Victoria's Secret model ever.
Hold on. Do you know why?
I think wasn't the lady that played Wonder Woman a Victoria's Secret model?
The original Wonder Woman?
No, like the modern Wonder Woman. I
don't-
think she was a Victoria's Secret
the
model.
Israeli lady?
I don't think
Yeah.
it was.
I think she did modeling of
I'm
some
sure she has
sort.
model,
No
yeah.
idea.
But no, and Victoria. So the original Victoria's Secret model. But Heidi Klum she's also one of the judges on America's Got Talent. She's been on there for years and years and years. She's been all over the media. I mean, she's very famous. She's been very, very famous for a long time. I'm shocked that you don't know who that is. That's right. Buddy Cantrell said this is before Instagram models. That's why you guys don't know about her.
I have never had an Instagram.
That's
I've
crazy.
also never had an Instagram.
Yeah, you guys had to be alive. You had to be alive in the '90s to really know who Heidi Klum.
I was alive
Yeah,
in the 90s.
I was literally born shortly after 9/11.
Dude, that's wild to me, bro. Wild to me. I had already graduated high school.
Yeah. I remember where I was when 9/11
in 9/11,
happened.
where in your mom's fucking vagina?
No,
dude?
my first grade classroom.
Oh, first
That's
grade.
crazy.
Yeah.
I joined the military right after 9/11. That's how old I was. Right after
Wow.
9/11. That was how they got me patriotic enough to say, you know what, I got to go fight around the world to protect my countrymen.
Mhm.
That was what they did, and it was the biggest scam I've ever fallen for in my entire life, dude. Ever bigger than
Real.
the TRX crypto scam.
Real.
Dude. It was I was within a year fighting a war in Iraq, and even at 19 years old, I was going, what the fuck are we doing in Iraq, dude? I could not believe we were, and we were shock and awe campaign. We dropped 100 million tons of ordnance on Baghdad, and I'm going, this is just a big city like Oakland, where I'm from, dude. Like there's people, you
But
know,
we
what I
got to
mean?
protect the poppy fields.
And that was no, the poppy fields were in Afghanistan, buddy. What the fuck were we doing in Iraq?
Protecting the poppy fields.
The poppy fields were
We
in
were
Afghanistan.
we were securing an oil. We were securing an oil pipeline for our most valuable ally.
Someone, Mari in the chat said, just ask which song starts with "Hey Now."
I know who that is, and I have no idea what he's referring to.
Jeez, how about you, Ryan?
I think of a Toby Mac song.
No, what the fuck, dude? Hey now, you're an arse. You don't know? Come on. Dude.
Oh, I know All
Oh,
Star.
Smash Mouth, bro.
No, that's a
Okay.
good point.
Dude.
I know that song.
Jeez.
That doesn't start with "Hey Now."
Yeah, that's
Come
not
on.
the
The
first
chorus
word
does.
of that song.
The chorus does.
Oh.
Yeah, but
Grumpy Gnome says I was already out of the army when 9/11 happened. Yeah, dude, we know you're fucking old. I've met you in person.
holy cow, boomer.
No, he's
Boomer alert.
Grumpy's the coolest like boomer ever you'll ever meet. He's not really a
Oh
boomer.
yeah, he's awesome.
I think
boomer.
I think Grumpy's probably not that much older than me, to be honest with you. I'm just fucking. I look at some of the people my age and a little bit older, and I'm like, I still look young. I don't care what anybody says
Yeah.
for my age. Nobody believes I'm a grandpa. Nobody ever believes that shit. Ryan knows. He's
Yeah.
seen it.
I did not know you were a grandpa. I'm gonna be honest.
Times two, bro. Yeah, my 20-year-old
crazy.
daughter has 2 kids already, so she made me a grandpa twice. She made me a grandpa when I was 38 years old, and she was 16. So, of course, I had my daughter when I was 21. My mom had me when she was 20. My grandma had my mom when she was 20. So we're all 20 years apart. Really, it's just kind of our thing.
Yeah, my mom was 35.
Yeah, but you're like you got older brothers.
Yeah. She
How
was
old-
33 when she had her first.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Wild. Wrong.
And I'm the third.
Guys, Trump's not going to jail. It's not going to happen. Look, this is all political theater. I think most people know this, right? Like, first of all, no normal person would have been even charged with what Trump got charged with.
Absolutely not.
Would not have even been. No DA in the world would have taken on that case because it's such a bullshit case. They would have been like, I don't want to lose such a dumb case as he paid some money from his business to shut up a porn star that he had sex with. Okay, nobody, no DA worth their salt is going to take this case on unless that person is Donald Trump. Period. Plain and simple. So like people are like, the left are hanging their hat on this. I'm sure some dude, was sitting in his living room watching this on TV and called his wife's boyfriend, right? Told him, come out here and check out the news. It was like, Trump's going to jail. We finally got him, boys. Yeah, right? But he's not going to jail. He's not going to go to jail. You're a fucking idiot if you think he's going to jail. There's no jail on earth that's going to take, first of all, a guy who may be a sitting president in just the next 4 months, 5 months, okay? Second of all, a former president over hush money bribes for sex. Seriously, not going to happen.
No one's prosecuting that.
It's been prosecuted. I mean, he's been convicted.
Well, yeah, I know. No one's throwing the president in jail over a crime that fake.
No, it's not. He's not going to jail.
I don't like. They'll certainly try. They'll try and throw him in jail.
Oh, they're not.
man,
They're not going to
that's
put him in jail. They can't.
That's such a dumb move. Why
No.
would they do that?
They put him in
Because
jail.
they're dumb.
It will be the ugliest shit you've ever seen happen in this country if they put him in jail. I guarantee it, dude. It'll be really ugly.
They don't think violence like that is possible. They can't conceive of it because we're so generally docile as a society
Right.
that kind of violent uprising hasn't happened in Western society in a long time.
Hey, be careful what you say. The French are doing it right now, dude.
Well, they got elected.
I think before January 6th, that was probably true. Like, they didn't really think that could happen. I think part of the reason that they care so much about that event is because that's when they realize, like, oh, wait, hold on. These people could actually just not put up with this anymore.
Yeah, and I hope that they're scared. Like, people are like, oh, you believe in political violence? Dude, the political violence started 100 years ago, and it's been brought to the American people repeatedly. This is, whenever you are dumb enough to say, oh, you can't use political violence, it's like, well, how long should I let the government continue to use political violence against me before I'm allowed to say maybe a little political violence as a treat is okay? You know what I mean? Like, at what point?
That's like the biggest victory the Fed's ever won, right? Is convincing everyone that the one thing you absolutely cannot do is suggest taking actual action. Like, like
well,
that's
the moment you do, you get cracked down. They've not only made it socially taboo, they've made it dangerous. You can't have a militia.
Oh, you can have a militia. And
you
should have a
you can
militia.
have a militia. There's a lot of militias in America.
Yeah, you can't publicly have a militia.
Sure you can.
There's you. I think you're not as in touch with some of the militias as you think you are. And
I'm not terribly in touch with
there's
militias.
feds in a lot of those militias, but like, listen, the whole trick of like the Fed posting meme, right, is to get people to never ever Fed post. Now, I'm not saying that like you should go say you're gonna, buy some fertilizer and blow up a building or anything. Like, that's stupid. Don't Fed post. But the mere suggestion that political violence is sometimes morally right when you're not the one who instigated it, the state is, that's not Fed posting. That's actually pretty normal behavior.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, self-defense is a normal thing, dude. And I think that this once great nation of people who were literally built this nation on the idea of self-defense against the crown, right? I mean, this is how we got our country. It was like a 0.03 increase on tea tax, okay? Mm-hmm. And Americans were like, nope, no fucking way, you're done, okay? This is what we were built on. We were built on on the ideas that tyranny has no place in American society, period, plain and simple. And like, for you to say like, oh, well, you can't do this, you can't have political violence. It's like, dude, they've been committing political violence against you and your family for years. Are you really that dumb? Are you really that stupid? Thanks for the super chat, guys. Alexander Walker said, I bet your opportunity is that she's spending her summer at Lake of the Ozarks instead of in her district. Yes. And she was going to do that. She may not now. She was for sure going to do that. She's like, I don't got to campaign. I actually saw her update in the Iowa Democratic newsletter, because they put out, the Democrats put out like a newsletter. And her thing was like, if you guys still have the signs from the primary, please don't get rid of them just yet. Like, that was what her whole thing was. Don't get rid of those signs. Keep those signs up. We're going to need those signs going into November. And it's like, yeah, you thought you were going to have it easy, and we're coming. Yeah, we're coming, And so, but yeah, I think that she's definitely in cahoots with the journalists, so they're going to come after me pretty hard. It is what it is. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't know if they're in direct cahoots, but it's an interesting story, and that they are certainly aligned ideologically.
Yeah. Corey Tallman, thanks for the $5 super chat, my man. Is that your first one ever? That was definitely Alexander's first one. He said, no warden wants to deal with the Secret Service. He's not going to prison. Yes, that's also true, because he's a former president. Mm-hmm. Even if he goes to prison, Secret Service has to go and guard him in prison. That would kind of be funny. I'm not going to lie.
That would make a great sitcom.
Dude.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
Imagine being some other inmate at the prison where the former president is in jail and the Secret Service is protecting him. Mm-hmm. That would be insane.
Dude, that would be crazy. You'd be like, you can't go after. Like, what do you... What are you going to do if you're like an inmate there? You can't go after the president anyways. I mean, you'd be fucked.
And specifically Trump would be hilarious because he would like start a race riot almost immediately.
Oh, immediately. Yeah. But I don't know. Have you seen these new polls coming out now that like 17% of black voters have switched to Trump? Have you seen that?
I think so. I've seen some stuff about him picking up some
17% increase in the black vote from 2020. That's insane to me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we don't talk about this enough on the show, stolen elections and all that, because YouTube doesn't like it very much. But can anybody in the chat tell me a time when a former U.S. president up for re-election actually increased their vote totals from their prior election? I think by like 4 or 5 to 8% or something like that, or 12%, and lost. Has there ever been a time in history that a president has gone up for re-election, increased their vote totals in the second term election, and lost? If that's actually ever happened, I would eat crow, but I don't think that has ever happened in the history of the United States of America. So I would like to know if that's true or not.
That would be good to research, because I bet you're right.
I don't think that it's ever happened. I don't think that a sitting U.S. president that has been elected and is up for re-election has ever increased their vote totals and then lost before. I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah. I did a little bit. I did like a cursory investigation of it on Google, but who knows?
I could see it having happened in like the 60s when a bunch of the baby boomers became of voting age, and so there's a huge spike in it was 60s, 70s, huge spike in voter turnout.
Yes.
And because of the age demographic shift, it could have shifted the against the incumbent candidate.
Sure.
But that's really the only place I could realistically see.
Why is AJ in the chat for the show but not sitting on the fucking couch at the show where he's supposed to be?
I think he's watching his kids.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. I say this though. On the last show, I talked a lot about Chase Oliver being the Libertarian Party nominee and having some fundamental disagreements with Chase that make it so I could not probably vote for Chase Oliver. But if you remember what I said, if you're smart, you'll shut the fuck up and send all of your leftist friends to Chase Oliver right away, immediately, because he plays to the young college, like leftist demographic. That's who he plays to, dude. Like he's a twink. He's like a college twink who is now a presidential nominee and wears like rainbow boas at pride events and shit. Like this guy will literally take the entire California vote. You know what I mean? And like you have an opportunity here if you just shut the fuck up and send all your leftist friends over that way to really laugh the Democrats out of office all over the country, dude. That'd be really funny to do. I'll say this: I'm not a Trump supporter. I think everybody knows that about me. I have valid criticisms of Trump, and if your cognitive dissonance refuses to let you listen to those valid criticisms of actual like verified things, I don't go after Russia collusion or paying off strippers or any of this shit. I go after actual tangible stuff that has happened. And if your cognitive dissonance doesn't allow you to hear those things, that's your bad. That's a skill issue. It has nothing to do with me. But I will say this: in 2016, I lived in Portland, Oregon. And this was when we had started Think Liberty, and I would go down to the protests with Antifa and wear like Murray Rothbard hoodies, and I would cite all kinds of ANCAP. This is when I was like hardcore, almost like autistic and anarcho-capitalist, like right after I really, really, really got into Murray Rothbard and like Harry, yeah. And I would go down there and I'd yell at these Antifa people. They knew me. They'd throw eggs at my car. Then I'm running for national chairman in 2017, all this shit. But anyways, I wasn't going to vote for Gary Johnson. I may have voted for Gary Johnson if it wasn't for Bill Weld. I may have, because Gary was very good on war. I think his tax plan was fucking stupid, but he's very good on war. He's very good on a lot of things that mattered to me. But Bill Weld sat on the fucking board of CFR. Okay. This guy, is absolutely a wolf in sheep's clothing when it comes to libertarian principles. He spoke out against nuclear power. He called Hillary Clinton a wonderful public servant who he'd be happy to vote for. He's talked about needing restrictions on guns, stuff like this. So there was no way this guy was going to get my support. It was kind of like Joe Jorgensen and Spike Cohen in 2020. I'd totally vote for Spike. No way I was voting for Joe Jorgensen. But the thing is that living in Portland, if you don't remember the vote in 2016, it happened late on the West Coast. That's when we started really getting the idea that Donald fucking J. Trump from Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous growing up was going to be the president of the United States. It was late, and I had to go to work the next day, but I stayed up and I was watching the news, and I opened my window, and I could hear the collective screech of leftists across Portland. And I remember thinking,
that's so cool.
I remember thinking, you know what? That's kind of cool. That's kind of funny. That's an unexpected goal, like win, right? Like to have the leftists this upset. And I remember being excited for a Donald Trump presidency because I was like, all right, look, this guy is talking about fucking destroying the swamp in DC. Like he's talking about lowering taxes. He's talking about getting rid of regulations. He's been an anti-war guy for many years. I mean, he was criticizing Obama and George Bush and like all these people for the wars that they started. Like this is going to be great. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Now he let me down hugely. I mean, he didn't do any of the shit really that he said he was going to do. The thing they hang his hat on is he never started a new war. It's like, well, he expanded Syria. He didn't end any wars like he said he would. And in fact, he couldn't even get the pull out of Afghanistan right. He left that up to Joe Biden, which we all know how that went, right? But I just remember being like, this is the greatest possible outcome because the leftists are screeching. They're terrible right now. And they're just going to, I remember thinking this is going to make the leftists like have to bolster their horrible policy so much. They're going to look like the biggest retards on earth. And I was right. I mean, since 2016, we've gotten a real first look at the left and what they are and how anti-human they are and family and anti.
It's become a more and more common and accepted belief that leftism really is just a symptom of being a dysgenic loser who hates beautiful people.
Right. It's exactly what it is. It's like. I think even COVID got to bolster it even more because now they have this ivory tower identity that they've never had before. They're like, we're more morally right than you, right? Because you guys want to kill grandma, and they still are holding on to that 5 years later almost. It's like you're just retarded is what you are. But I think that another Trump presidency is going to be even funnier. I really do believe that. I think it's not going to do any of the things that we want it to do. Zero of the things.
I don't think it'll be quite as funny because the initial shock of it, like they could not, they had kind of this, they were getting this stranglehold on the culture.
I think it's going to be hilarious, dude.
And this man came in and was unapologetically rude and brash and just said whatever the hell he wanted.
Bro, he came into the Libertarian National Convention and called us all a bunch of losers, dude.
Yeah.
He's still doing the same things.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I'm not going to lie. Like, libertarians needed to hear that because he was right.
Toad did it first.
He was right. He was right. Look, he's like, fine, vote for me or continue your, losing, getting 3% of the vote, whatever. He was right. He was absolutely right. I mean, at the end of the day, he was right. And he said some really good things. He's not going to do any of them.
No, he's not.
I'll be very surprised if after he wins, he actually releases Ross Ulbricht. If he does,
I would be shocked.
Yeah. My understanding of that is he put in like the paperwork to pardon him during his last term, but there was like a DA or someone that like really slowed it down, and then it slowed it down.
It was the National Attorney General was William Barr.
Yeah, and so again,
I have heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I have seen that story.
Yeah, and I think I've heard it from multiple people. I think both Tom Woods and Angela McArdle have said that.
If Trump releases Assange, which by the way he never mentioned once in his speech at the national convention, if he releases Assange and Ulbricht and drops the case against Snowden, let Snowden come home to his family, and actually starts to support this end the Fed, which he's been talking about, I would eat crow, dude. I would be like, you know what? I should have voted for Trump. Honestly, because those four things
Absolutely.
are bigger than anything any president has done in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down.
There's zero chance at this point that I am voting for Trump.
Sure.
But if he did those things, I would absolutely say, like, in hindsight, I was wrong. I should have voted for him.
Yes. That's how I feel.
Yeah. There's one promise that could get me to vote for him. He said, I will put a libertarian in my cabinet.
Oh, sure.
Name that libertarian, and if that name is Scott Horton, I'm in.
Oh yeah, of course, dude. If
Scott Horton in my cabinet, I'm in.
Yeah,
you got my vote.
I would absolutely. I would go vote for Donald Trump if he said I'm going to put Scott Horton in my cabinet.
Yep.
I actually reached out to the Trump campaign about this recently. I haven't talked to even you about it. And I've had some back and forth emails about me trying to get into the cabinet. I don't know if you know that. I posted on Twitter. I had a bunch of people talking about it. I had a bunch of people tagging Donald Trump. So it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But there was actually talks about it at one point, which would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be the right man for a cabinet position.
I think I'd be perfect for a cabinet position. What are you talking about, dude? Perfect. Absolutely 100%. If I could get in Trump's ear every day for the next 4 years and push the Overton window, we're going to get some of the things that we want.
You'd be a good choice, but I think there are a couple of better ones out there.
Yeah, of course. Scott, Dave, fucking there's way better people than me.
Yeah.
Way better. Tom Woods, any of these guys would be 100 times better than me. But
I do have to bring up, I did watch some of the national convention while I was so very busy that weekend, and Scott's speech was just the best.
Oh, he's always the best.
Man, he hit it out of the park, of course, but you know,
I'm partial.
That was awesome.
I'm partial
hear
myself.
most of it.
I'm partial myself, of course, to the Ron Paul speech, but that's because that's my hero.
Chase supporters were doing the human centipede around the fucking
During Ron Paul.
No, that was during Scott
was it during
Horton.
Scott? Yeah.
With Ron Paul, everyone was in line. Everyone was in sync. Like, there was nobody that was disrespecting Ron Paul in the slightest.
Craig, my good friend Craig said it will be somebody from Cato or Reason. No, it won't even be somebody from Cato or Reason. He's mentioned Mike Lee, who's not from either of those places.
Well, Mike Lee is one of America's better senators.
Sure.
He is not a libertarian, and saying that, Trump saying that he's going to put him in the cabinet is simply not good enough.
Yeah.
Thomas Massey, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, if it was Massey, I'd if he said I'm putting Massey in my cabinet, or even Rand Paul, I'd probably vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think Massey might be one of the greatest Americans alive.
Massey is definitely he is 100% the torchbearer of Ron Paul, in my opinion. No doubt whatsoever. There's nobody else in Congress that even comes close to Ron Paul, except for Thomas Massey. And I think Justin Amash had some of that same fire too. Now, me and Amash, I don't like the way he went after the Trump-Russia collusion shit. I thought it was fucking stupid waste of his time. But I love Justin Amash too, right? Like, and I don't care if you think he's a Cato or Reason guy. That guy's a Mises guy. Like, Justin Amash will cite Mises to you without picking up a book. Like, he knows all the Mises quotes. So to hate on that guy's crazy. Corey Tallman, thanks for $2 super chat.
I so desperately hope that we see something out of Amash's Senate campaign. Like, I do not have.
Dude. I think he's going to win
What's
that
that?
campaign. I think he's going to win that campaign.
You think so?
Yeah.
I'm super white pilled in a like good will always defeat evil way, but I'm very black pilled on politics. I always assume that it's going to be like the worst possible thing. But man, I'd be so pumped if we had a Senator Amash. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I think he's going to win that campaign. He breezed through the primary, of course, but that's I mean, he's already very well liked in Michigan. And I will say that Michigan people are fed the fuck up with the Gretchen Whitmers of Michigan. I've talked to even a lot of my friends that live there that are like independents and shit are like, we're never again voting for a Democrat in the state. I mean, she banned food seeds during COVID, dude. You could not go and buy seeds to
You
grow
can't
your
buy
own food.
cucumber seeds at the goddamn store
dude.
because the governor said so.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. The kidnapping plot was justified.
Well, it never happened. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If there
No,
was
no,
a kidnapping plot, it
This
would
was
have
the
been
best thing
justified.
the FBI did.
The FBI finally gets one right.
The one thing the FBI has gotten right was planning to kidnap the governor.
Damn it! I wish the FBI would have kidnapped Gretchen Whitmer. Damn, dude. No, I knew about this. She was one of people always talk about. The New York governor, that Gavin Newsom
Yeah.
loser in California, but less people talk about Gretchen Whitmer. She was absolutely one of, if not the very worst governor during COVID.
So, I used to watch Steven Crowder back
Canadian,
during COVID. Oh, his decline has been impressive.
That fall has been very impressive.
Oh yeah. But he talked a lot about he's based in Michigan. He was, at least. I think his family was based in Michigan at the time, and they moved down to Texas because of how bad Whitmer was on COVID.
Corey Tallman, thanks for a $2 super chat. He said Corey DeAngelis should be the Secretary of Education. Agree. Hard agree. I messaged him today because I want to talk to him because he's the best guy on educational freedom in the country, in my opinion. I've had him on the show before. He's great.
Oh.
Long before you were around. But
Yeah.
I want to talk to him because we're running against probably one of the worst educational people, if not just in Iowa and the whole Midwest. And I'd love to have Corey's help here. AJ Fisher, thanks for the $5 super chat with no super chat. We appreciate you. AJ, you should just be here. You don't got to pay. You can just come hang out. AJ also said he's been a supporter for 18 months. He said, panel vibe check. Who votes for Trump versus Chase with your caveats satisfied? Oh, I'm not voting. I wouldn't vote. I'd vote for either of them. Well, no, I'd vote for Trump if the caveats were satisfied. Chase, if I know that these caveats would be satisfied if Chase got it. That's the weird thing, is because he's so like pro abortion and pro transing the kids. Like I can't support that, dude.
I'm going to vote for him, but I'm not gonna really campaign for him simply because it can benefit campaigns like yours here in Iowa.
Right.
If we maintain major party status, it'll get more good people to run.
Yeah.
If Chase Oliver was the Republican or Democrat nominee for president, I'd be all in on the guy. But I feel like there is a higher standard for libertarian nominees because
as there should be.
Absolutely, because they're not going to win. So it's like, well, you got to bring something else to the table then. Like I think Chase Oliver would be the best president of anyone who's going to be on my ballot, but he's not going to be president, so he has to do something else for me. And like I'm, especially as someone who is, I hate the trans kids stuff, but as someone who's like, I think more socially liberal than probably Josh or the average viewer of this show, like I'm a very winnable voter for Chase Oliver if he makes any attempt at all. I haven't seen it yet. Like I kind of expected Chase to like try to be the unity candidate, and it's really surprised me that he has really made no attempt to win over the Mises people that he pushed away for so long. It's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is really crazy. Jordan Benke, thanks buddy, from Antioch, California, said the Rakita rise and fall is greater. That has been rough.
Rakita's rise wasn't nearly as high as Stevens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Rakita was pretty niche.
But the fall is
It is like
lower.
the lowest fall ever.
Yeah,
though.
it's one of the lowest falls ever.
It's crazy
It's insane.
Well, I started watching him during the Depp trial stuff, the Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
Amber Heard
that's
trial.
where everybody started watching.
He was
him.
great on that stuff.
Yeah,
dude.
that and I think it was the Kavanaugh trial. He was
good on the
big
Kavanaugh trial too. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he's an attorney. I
Yeah,
think he lives in Minnesota, right?
yeah. I think he still does.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like legitimate attorney.
I can promise you guys that I will never become a drug addict, alcoholic, and have my kids taken away while you watch my show. It's never gonna happen. I feel like I'm too old for that shit now, man.
You're
I'm like
probably
Danny
the same age as that guy.
I'm like Danny. No, I think he might be younger than me. I'm like Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon, dude. I'm too old for this shit. You know what I mean?
I think he's like mid to late 30s.
Yeah. Anyways, we got to get going. I don't feel good. I got to get all my babies to bed and stuff. But before we go, let's talk a little bit about student loan forgiveness, buddy. What do you got on the docket over there?
Well, some of it has started rolling out. There's been one tweet that's been going really viral by a guy saying, "Oh, I got my student loans paid off. Thank you so much." This guy owns a $500,000 home and like works for like a DC think tank and has not paid off $8,000 of loans in 14 years.
Well, he's just using the system the way it was designed to be used, right?
On a single income, my wife and I are going to pay off that much in student loans this year. But this guy can't do it in 14. It's insane, but
That's fucking
the smartest
wild.
take I've seen on it is it was somebody on the left. It just showed up in my feed and it said, "The right doesn't get it. Democrats are really good at rewarding their supporters and making their enemies pay for it. And
Right.
the right doesn't do that, and they don't get it. And that's why the Democrats continue to win."
Right.
And I was like, oh, I never thought about it so maliciously.
It's true.
Before.
It's true, though. It's Machiavellian, really, at the end of the
Yeah.
But that is going to be the ultimate downfall of the left, is because there's going to come a time where the right is just going to flip the table and say, well, if we can't win, if we get to the point where we're just not allowed to win in democracy, then we're just not going to have a democracy. Hell with you.
Yeah.
So like they can only take it so far. Like we've really hit this point where the American elite are just like determined to kill the golden goose.
Oh yeah,
Like
it's
That
pretty
they
much
they
dead
really
with
think there's
Gen
there's
Z.
they think there's like no such thing as too far.
Yeah, they've lost perspective that there can be a thing as too far because there hasn't been a thing as too far in their lifetime. But we are fast approaching that point, and at any other point in history, we would be at that point. But things haven't. The empire hasn't degraded far enough, and we have too good of entertainment.
There's a lot of really good entertainment out these days. Buddy.
Yes.
Before we go, I got to talk about this. It's really bumming me out, dude. Okay?
The Boys.
The Boys, yeah. I got to talk about The Boys. I've started watching season 4 of The Boys. This was one of my favorite shows when it first came out. Okay. Season 1 and 2 were phenomenal. They were fire. Fire, absolute fire. Third season started getting really political, and I was like, please don't do this to me. Please don't fucking do this to me. Fourth season, completely 100% a mandate on Trump. 100%. That's what it's all about. They're trying to make Homelander Trump. They're trying to fucking stick it in your face. And the writers came out and said, if you're supporting Homelander, I don't know what to tell you. We're trying to make him like the social climate that's going on, the political climate that's going on today. We're actually trying to make it a knock on Trump, and you guys are supporting him. And it's like, when they start doing that, it almost makes me want to support the fucking weirdo that had to suck on the pregnant woman's boobies to get off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
in Homelander,
The
right?
breast milk addict.
Yeah, the breast milk addict. Like how you're so bad that you're making me support the worst fucking person in a TV show of all time because of you, because of your dumb like political agenda in my show that was so good. It was so good. It was like such an interesting and refreshing idea to have like the superheroes be the bad guys. You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's not necessarily the superheroes. It's the
corporate
message.
media, right?
Yeah, massive corporate media. It's Hollywood. It's the machine.
Yes.
It's you guys are the bad guy, and these are just your faces.
Right. It's just they're fucking it up in season 4 so bad that I don't like. I'm gonna finish it. I don't give a fuck. Like I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, you'll watch Frenchie.
Look, it's not like the TV
French
show.
kiss and 3 more black men by the end of the season.
Yeah, they started having Frenchie like he all of a sudden he's bisexual now. I'm like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
See,
why are you doing this to my show?
The last time I watched, he was in a committed relationship with like the one chick that they rescued.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I also saw a clip from one of the hospital shows yesterday where the doctor told the mom that her son's tumor was caused by racism. Like, dude, it's getting out of control.
Oh
Maybe
my God.
Yes. Fuck. I'm not gonna. Let me see if I can find the show.
Oh my God.
It's an actual legit show. I looked it up. Hold on.
That's like room levels of
Hold on.
pandering where it's so bad it's good. You can just sit there and laugh at it.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you. His tumors are caused by racism. Dr. Fromm discovers New Amsterdam is a hospital
I've
show
heard of
like
it.
Grey's Anatomy, and he literally comes out and says, "Well, I think that your kid's been internalizing all the racism that he's been seeing." And she's like, "What are you trying to tell me, doctor?" "I'm saying that his tumor was caused by racism." I was like,
That is fucking absurd.
"Holy fuck!"
Oh my God.
I have rallied very hard against letting AI write TV shows, okay? But it's getting to a point where it couldn't get any worse. It couldn't get any worse.
Oh, it absolutely
No,
can.
dude, let Grok write that shit. We'll have some savage shows for sure. There's no doubt.
There are good shows out there still.
Well, it's not The Boys anymore.
Oh yeah.
You guys, The Boys gave me one of the best shows I've ever seen in years since like Breaking
it was
Bad.
So good.
And they are fucking it up 100%. Injecting their stupid fucking political bias into it. Like, are you really trying to make it a mandate on Trump that the dude with fucking laser eyes blows up heads and shit? You're trying to make that Trump? That's how fucking stupid.
That's how they
you
view
sound.
him.
That's how stupid you sound, dude. It's off the deep end. And they got shows out here saying that racism causes tumors. So like, I guess all those comments, like your comment gave me cancer on YouTube, are real. You know what I mean? I guess that was real. I guess that was always. No, you dumb fucks! You can't get a tumor from racism. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Imagine being the kid at school who's like, I was so racist, I gave someone cancer.
Dude,
Wait, is that a superpower I can acquire? Be so racist that I give someone cancer?
No, I know a lot of racist people have never given anyone cancer. It's unfortunate that it doesn't have that way. But listen, dude, I'm telling you, like the media, that Hollywood has gone far enough. They've gone far enough. It's time. It's honestly time to put a mandate on these people. If you're not going to start pushing back and stop watching these fucking shows, cancel your streaming services, then they're never going to stop. You're never going to get good entertainment again. It's not going to come back.
Support Smiling Friends. It's one of the best shows on television right now.
Yeah, support Angel Studios and shit like that.
We love Zach Hadel.
We love Zach Hadel.
Like support Angel Studios, and right now Mark Wahlberg and like them guys are all trying to put together a fucking new Hollywood too, where they're trying to start doing movies outside of the Hollywood sphere. I don't know if you saw that.
Spaceballs 2 is confirmed, by the way.
Oh, that's pretty sick. They're gonna fuck it up though.
I hope not.
Spaceballs is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
I
feel like
Mel Brooks movies were like the last era of saying whatever the fuck you wanted to say in a movie and not caring what the public thought.
Yeah, it's a Mel Brooks movie.
Oh, if they fuck up a Mel Brooks, I don't know, dude.
Yeah, and I think is it Rick Moranis? I think he'll be back.
He doesn't even act anymore. That'd be really sad when he comes back, dude.
Well, I think he retired to raise his kids, and now that his kids are grown, he might. I think he's willing to come back. But I think at this point, people are far more excited about a Spaceballs movie than they are about anything Star Wars.
Oh, no doubt.
Which is crazy.
The writers and funders of Star Wars have made it abundantly clear that they hate the base. They fucking hate the Star Wars base. They don't care for you at all. They don't want you to watch the movies, so don't watch them. I'm not watching The Acolyte. I've been very clear on this. I haven't watched a single Star Wars since the Attack of the Clones, dude. Not one. Not a single one.
I thought it was The Phantom Menace.
Maybe it was The Phantom Menace.
Yeah, you said Phantom Menace. Phantom Menace is the one with pod racing.
Yes. That's the one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. As soon as they put Jar Jar Binks in my face, I was done.
See, I watched the Kenobi series and I enjoyed it because it's more Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he's witty and quippy and it's fun.
Yeah, we'll watch it.
And
you were also a little kid when those movies came out.
Yeah.
I was not.
And unironically, Jar Jar Binks is one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, that's to see.
I love Jar Jar.
Your favorite rapper
L-take.
Yeah,
that
big
is the
L
worst
take.
opinion I've ever heard.
Yes.
Jar Jar is a better character than anything that has come out in the last 5 years in Star Wars.
Well,
that's just because all of it's been crap. What are you talking about?
Better
that doesn't
than,
make him good.
Baby Yoda? I don't think so. don't know,
first season of The Mandalorian was over 5 years ago.
I've never watched The Mandalorian either.
The first
Yeah, I've
season
never
is
seen
good. First season is like really, really good. Second season is kind of boring.
I won't watch any. I won't give my money to or my time to any Star Wars movies anymore until these people that are fucking telling me they hate me are out. Period.
I haven't
Why
watched
not watch the
Star
prequels?
Wars. I haven't watched Star Wars anything since I think The Last Jedi I saw, and that was fucking terrible. But I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I'm rewatching Firefly for like the 7th or 8th time.
Yeah,
right now.
see anything Joss Whedon better than anything Star Wars has put out since I was a little kid. I mean, because look, the first the New Hope came out before I was born, and I was born in 1983. Okay, the following two movies, amazing. I was very, very excited for the Phantom Menace. Very excited. I was at the movie theater in like a 3-hour line on opening night to watch it. Okay. I played with every Star Wars action figure you could possibly imagine when I was a child. Okay. I had them all. We had the Star Wars trilogy on VHS. I watched all 3 of them once a week. My whole childhood. It was my favorite fucking movies, dude. So don't sit in my house and tell me that Jar Jar Binks is one of the best fucking Star Wars characters.
I didn't say
I'll
he
cut
was
your
one of
mic.
the best.
It's off. It's off now. AJ told me to cut it. It's off. You have no mic left. Fuck you. Get out.
What?
Get out. I can't.
I said he's one of my favorite, not
No,
that he's
fuck
one
off.
of the,
Fuck
objectively
off.
the best.
Get out. Get out of my house. dude. You're not
I
allowed
said
here
he's
anymore.
one of my
We're not
favorite.
friends. I can't have my children around you. You're untrustworthy. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit.
You might influence them with that fucking coal.
Yeah, dude.
Terrible opinion.
Your favorite rapper is XXX Tentacion,
Yeah.
and your favorite Star Wars character is Jar Jar Binks.
No,
I'm
my
starting
favorite-
to believe that you're a Fed for real.
Qui-Gon Jinn is my favorite Star Wars character.
Oh my god, dude.
That's still not a good opinion.
Still not good, dude. Still not good. Absolutely not. If it's not Chewie, get the fuck out, dude.
Real.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm not going to watch and pay for movies that people are writing that absolutely are very open about hating me. Sorry. I don't know if you saw the Project Veritas, the senior VP from Disney saying that the Disney will no longer hire white men for positions at
Yeah.
Disney. Have you seen that yet?
Was
What?
that Project Veritas? I thought that was just like
Oh, it's not
That's-
Veritas. It's
It's James O'Keefe
Well,
on
yeah.
his own
James
now.
O'Keefe on his own. Yeah.
Oh, I saw like a Disney executive say something similar at a press conference.
Yeah. No, it's
Jesus.
no, they.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. Disney hates you. They absolutely fucking hate you.
They
it
do.
sucks because, like, I still want to take my kids to Disney World, dude. Like,
I've heard it blows now.
No, dude, we went 2 years ago, and it was absolutely one of the most magical experiences my children have had ever. Okay.
Was
But
it
fuck, I
2
don't want to go and
years?
spend money there anymore.
Was it 2 years ago?
3 years, maybe. It's
It
been a
was-
while then.
Yeah, it was before I ever knew you.
It was probably 3 years then. I think it was
Okay.
the year before we moved here. So, but yeah, I want to take my kids to those things. I want my kids to be I've gotten to a point where I'm like, you guys can watch the Disney classics. That's it. You know what I mean? Like, that's how bad you're fucking up Disney. This is supposed to be for children. Why are you injecting your dumb fucking politics into like the magical experiences of children? You dumb, weird fucking people. You made movies about mermaids and shit. Okay. And boys who never grew up and you know what I mean? Like this is insane to have this like injected political bias into like something that's supposed to be magical for children. You're fucking it up and you're losing generations of kids because my kids won't support Disney anymore. I know a ton of people whose kids aren't going to support Disney anymore because you're fucking it up for me. You're fucking it up for the kids after us too. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. At some point they're going to have to go broke. I know they opened that whole Star Wars hotel experience and it fucking shut down a year later.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
could
that
not
was a
do it.
disaster.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's just par for the course for modern Disney. I saw something that perfectly exemplified the state of Disney. It was a sign for one of their rides, and it was like, "Be careful, you might get wet" or something. And it was two versions: the old version and the one they replaced it with. The old one had like a rabbit character riding on water, and it was cool. It popped out, and it was like, oh, that has some character, that has some charm. The new one was sterile and just like blue text.
Yeah, that's
and it's same words.
They removed Splash Mountain from Disney because they said it was racist. Okay, I don't know if you've ever ridden Splash Mountain. It's taken from a movie, Briar Rabbit movie, Song of the South. And they've decided that was a racist movie, so they're like pulling it from their collection, and they're taking down one of, if not the most famous ride at Disney World and Disneyland in history. I'm done with Disney. I'm fucking done with Disney, dude. Totally.
So
100%.
I have a very fun story about Splash Mountain. I went to Disney World with on like a high school trip when I was a senior in high school, and we were going on to Splash Mountain, and on the map it had like there's the symbol for an AED machine. I was there with my dad and a friend of mine, and my dad convinced this friend that the AED machine essentially meant that he was gonna die on the ride. Like, they had people die all the time, and that's why they had the machine. And so this kid is panicking to the point
God.
where before he gets on the ride, he texts his mom, I just want to say I love you.
Holy shit. Wait,
What?
how did I don't understand how he convinced him he was going to die.
God tier trolling.
What happened?
Well, we're standing in line. My dad's like looking at the map, and he's like, oh, do you know what this symbol means? They have an AED machine, and made up this whole history about Splash Mountain and people dying on it.
How old was this kid?
Shit.
15?
I have a really cool story.
You shouldn't fall for that as a 15-year-old.
My dad was very convincing. I'll give him that.
My little sister, when did we go? At some point when my sister was graduating high school, I'm 5 years older than my sister, so I was like in my early 20s. My mom said, we're going to go to Disney land, because we grew up going to Disneyland, right? I'm from the West Coast. We didn't go to Disney World until I was an adult. That was the first time I went. And Disneyland was one park, much cheaper. Then they opened the California Adventures and Downtown Disney. Still only 2 parks. It's not 4 parks and a bunch of water parks like Disney World. And so you can do both parks in like 2 days. And so we went down there, I think I want to say for like 5 days or something, and we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel anyways. One of the Disneyland hotels. And it was during the time when Disney World stays open till 1 o'clock, or Disneyland stays open till like 1 o'clock in the morning or midnight or whatever. It was like October or November or something. It's like when they start turning everything into the Nightmare Before Christmas shit. That's why we went. And my mom and my sister were tired and went back to the hotel. I was like, well, I'm going to go ride by myself. It started raining, like just a light sprinkle. I was like, I'm going to go ride Splash Mountain by myself in the fucking rain, right? Nobody in line at all. It's dark. Nobody in line. And I met this like group of probably 6 girls from Canada who were there on like a college vacation or something. And we stayed on that ride together probably 20 rides in a row. They never asked us to get off the ride. They would stop it and go, you want to go again? We'd be like, yep, go again. And we'd go again. So I rode Splash Mountain like 20 times in a row. Yes, they took Splash Mountain out January of last year. They took it out. It's gone because of claims of racism. One of the greatest fucking rides of all time.
We used to be a proper country.
We used to be a pride. Never forget what they took from you. Never forget. This country used to be able to walk into a Taco Bell, eat yourself a Bell Beefer. If you remember what that was, it was like a loose meat Taco Bell sandwich, and light up a cigarette. Probably drink a Heineken right there at the table.
And I turned 18 in 2019, so I kind of don't remember what affordable fast food was like. It's actually fucking wild.
Crazy, bro. I remember when I was a kid, they did Wednesday nights at McDonald's. They had 39-cent cheeseburgers and 29-cent.
No way.
Yeah.
I like vaguely remember dollar menus.
Oh,
Dollar McChickens were my go-to in college.
Yeah, they had dollar McChickens. I would get a dollar McChicken, add ketchup and cheese because it was fucking awesome that way. If you've never had a McChicken that way, it's the best way to get it. I promise you. I promise you, try it.
I just do a McChicken
Shut the
no
fuck
mayo.
up and try it. Just listen to me. It's only going to cost you $1.70 or something.
No, it's going to cost me $4 now
for McChicken.
for a McChicken.
That's why I don't go to McDonald's, so I don't even know. I stopped going to McDonald's for real. Like
I haven't gone since the Grimace Shake.
But I used to go. I
had to try the.
I stopped going
Grimace
with
Shake.
the purple shake. So I used to go and get a double cheeseburger for 99 cents and a McChicken for 99 cents and a small soda for 99 cents, and I paid $3 and I had a fucking meal. And you can't do that anymore. You just can't do that anywhere.
Yeah,
It's insane.
2 McChickens, no mayo, and an ice cream cone.
Yes. See, if you guys would have voted for me for president, I would have mandated that they return Splash Mountain to us. You makes you feel stupid now.
This is what Michael Heiss and the Mises Caucus took from us.
Yeah. This is what the Mises Caucus took
we used
from
to
us.
be a proper party.
We used to be a proper libertarian party, and you put a mandate on the guy who would have absolutely forced Disney to bring back Splash Mountain. Hey, who's stupid now, huh? Who's stupid now? Harrison, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you a lot.
Hey, I loved it. Thank you.
Where can people
appreciate
find you, support you, listen to you, all those good things?
The best place and most important place to find me is the Copper State Austrians at Austrian AZ on Twitter. I'm also Harry for Liberty on Twitter, Harrison Wells on Facebook. I don't really have much long form content out yet, but yeah, you can find me at all those places. I'm still doing some good work, fighting the local fight, being involved with my LP. So that's where you can hear about what I have going on.
Dude, get yourself a long form show, man. I'll help you out with some audio and video if you want, man. I know how to do this shit on a budget when we started. So if you want some help, I'll help.
Oh
you
yeah.
out.
Yeah, I need to get into the game, start producing some serious content of some sort. I don't know if it's gonna be a podcast or writing or something, but like, yeah,
you're not a real libertarian yet. You don't have a podcast.
I don't have a podcast or a Substack. What kind of libertarian am I? But yeah,
I've never done
I'm
Substack either. So
I'm a little less involved in the LP at this point. I'm looking for some more to do. So there'll be things from me.
Sure. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Harrison, man. I'm a fan. I love you to death, and I hope that we can have you on again soon, brother.
All right. Hey, see you guys. Thanks for having me on.
See you, brother. All right, guys. Harrison's awesome. Go follow him. If you don't know him, now you do. Go check him out. Give him a follow on Twitter and all the platforms that he listed, and hopefully we can get Harrison to start putting out some cool long-form shit soon, because he's a fucking really smart guy, dude. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Allegedly, he's very intelligent. But I, if I was you, Brownwater Squid finally jumps in with a $10 super chat. What's up, Big Wheezy? Yeah, I am a little wheezy today. Corey Tallman, vote Josh Smith, bring back Splash Mountain. Yeah, could have had Splash Mountain back. Vote for me in 2028. We'll mandate that they return us Splash Mountain. We'll mandate it.
Well, yeah.
And and somebody said, and get rid of the Disney adults. I can't. My mom's a Disney adult. She's a cool ass Disney adult, dude. I can't do it.
Yeah, the Disney they have to have something since they don't have children.
Yeah, dude. My mom has children, but she liked taking her children to watch them have a magical experience.
Yes, that's normal.
That was my mom. My mom would have more, like, put a second mortgage on the house just to take us to Disneyland. That's how much she cared about us being able to go. And I think that's why it was so important to me to take my kids too. You know what I mean? Like, because I understood how, like, I understood the feeling it gave me when I was a kid, like waking up at 4:00 in the morning at the hotel, like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like, I that feeling is such a cool feeling for kids, but like,
yeah.
But like the shit they're putting out now is like, I don't want my kids around any of that shit. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, dude.
That's how we were with Lost Island. If you haven't been, Lost Island is an incredible water park.
I should take the kids to Lost Island.
They're building like an actual theme park. I've heard it kind of sucks.
They've already built it.
Yeah.
They had a big fire.
Like,
yeah, like one of the rides caught fire before it opened, and burnt down. So they like had to prolong the opening. I don't know if it's been opened yet or not, but yeah,
it's been opened. I know.
Open.
The one guy at my work that got fired took his kids there.
Well, I know, but I had heard that it's open, but there's like 8 rides that haven't like opened to the public yet, or some shit. It's like,
there's only like 8 rides in the whole thing.
There was like a whole bunch of rides that weren't open, and people were like saying they were pissed off because there was nothing on the internet that told them that these rides weren't going to be open and shit. But
yeah,
it is what it is. Guys, I love you to death. Thanks so much for rocking with us all this time, man. We'll have another show. Not next week because I'll be out of town for our oldest daughter's national dance competition. Hopefully, give us some prayers that she gets the top win there. She's worked her little butt off, man, real hard. And she's got some great. They got some cool. They got a Chucky dance, dude. Like a Child's Play Chucky dance. That's so sick. I love it. I'm a horror buff. I love horror movies, and I was just like, what a cool dance. Ryan, you got anything before we go?
Follow me on Twitter at BulldogGamer28. Support all of my candidates here in Polk County. That includes Josh, David Green, and I can't remember Jake's last name because I only met him last month, but he's awesome. Jake has a great chance of winning as well. There's it's just him versus Democrat. We have full support of the Republicans as well. So pretty similar case. And then I think we should revoke your title as a movie buff until you finish the prequels.
You can't pull my title as a movie buff because I know way more about cinema than you. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, it's not close,
It's not
I think you lose your
close.
title until you've seen
No.
all. You have to have watched all 6 Star Wars
Why
movies.
would I have to watch them?
All 6 of them. There are all 6 of the existing Star
Why,
Wars
the first
movies. You
prequel
have
was
to watch
so
them
gay that I couldn't watch the other 2. Why do I need to watch them?
because they're awesome.
No, they're not. They're crap.
They're amazing.
Every real Star Wars fan I know says they fucking suck, except for you, because you're not a real Star Wars fan.
There are millions okay, not quite like me because not a lot of people like Jar Jar Binks, but there's millions of people.
Hold on, sorry, you were muted, Harrison. Nobody heard what you said.
Sorry about it. Sorry,
I
but
unmuted you.
yeah. So there's millions of people who like those movies. Almost no one thinks that they are objectively well made.
Yes.
I
Okay, now
think
get
they're
the fuck
good
out of here,
movies.
Harrison. We love you to death, dude.
All right.
Trying to close the show here, damn it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm out. See ya.
Thanks, buddy. I think it's funny that Brown Water Squid said, cool road trip and decent theme park for y'all in Branson, Missouri. We'll be in Branson, Missouri all week next week. That's where we're going for the National Dance Competition.
Yeah.
I don't know that we're going to have time for theme parks, but I am going to try and get to some.
Yeah,
we get
it's
some free shows
Silver
and shit.
Dollar City down there.
Yeah. All right.
I dated a girl that worked there at one point.
No one believes that you dated a girl, dude.
I'm married. What do you mean?
Very few people believe that you're married. If they hadn't met your wife, they would definitely be arguing with you for sure. I love you though. I've met your wife. I know that you're straight in public. You know what I mean? So that's cool. At least. I love you to death, buddy. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll see you not next week, the week after next week. I'm gonna try and get some more stuff on. This podcast should be uploaded to the podcast feed tonight. If it's not, I know that my good friend Chris will be on Twitter calling me an asshole, but I do what I do. I love you to death. Until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
Due to legal reasons, I just have to explain. The lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. But Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse. In Minecraft, just in Minecraft. You're nothing I mean, you know it. No product finished cause it closed for COVID. Holy shit, I think I'm